First order of business is going to be our emergency responder monthly reports. And do we have Honolulu Fire Department online or in person? We'll circle back if they come back online. I'm sure they're very busy keeping our community safe. Kalamai, technical difficulties. We good to go? Mahalo. Moving on to Honolulu Police Department, we have HPD here in the room. Aloha, HPD. Need a moment? No worries. Take your time. Take your time. You just come up to the microphone when you're ready. And before you leave, don't forget to make a plate. Also, community that's here, if you haven't already, go ahead and make a plate. Everybody's welcome. We'll just give HPD a moment here.
Lord, I'm late. Hello, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Villaflor, District 4. I'm on the night watch detail. Last month, we had no motor vehicle thefts. We had 1 burglary. We had 8 thefts, 3 UMVs, and no robberies. June, we had 2 burglaries, 8 UMVs, 6 vehicle thefts, 2 attempted. We don't have the thefts yet, and 1 robbery. And yeah, and the MVCs are pretty bad. So in 2023, we had 8 at this point. 2024, we had 3. We're already at 10. So what we're doing here at District 4, we increasing our traffic enforcement. What that means is everybody kind of gets involved with that, right? Because we're going to be enforcing everything. So the unfortunate part about that is make sure if you can pass the word, everybody, you might have an expired tax or expired safety. When we increase enforcement, everybody kind of will have to step up and make sure they're in compliance. So we don't pick and choose. We enforce. We see violations. We're going to pick up the enforcement district-wide to help decrease the MVCs. Yes.
Can you tell us how many vacancies or how many active officers there are at the police station for our neighborhood, for Kahalu'u out to Kahuku on a normal evening? Are there?
We just got a push, means promotions and transfers and stuff. So I think at the end of the month, we'll be fully staffed.
How many is that?
So for us, we like to operate with 17. So as for next month, we'll move to 18 to run the entire district.
So how many vacancies does that leave you with?
You mean for the district?
Yeah, in our neighborhood, how many empty chairs are there?
We wouldn't have any vacancies because we would backfill it with overtime, so we always want to run with 17. You mean like?
So the reason I'm asking is we would lobby for more people if you said you needed another officer or another car or.
Oh, that'd be awesome, sir. But we kind of short department wide. Yeah.
So if you would let us know, I know it's hard to hire people, but it's a 2-way street. Mostly, we're very.
For our district, we're good.
Yeah, we're very happy with everything you're doing. We just want to help you and make it a back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But we're always fully staffed here. We're not short here.
Mahalo, HPD. I just have a couple questions.
Yes.
Could you define for us the difference between burglary, theft, and robbery? Like, what are the classification differences?
So burglary, there is it's a felony. That's usually of a residence, a crime committed therein. So a crime in a residence would be someone have to unlawfully enter and commit some type of crime, either a theft or if somebody walks into your residence and assaults you, that would be a burglary. And that's a felony. Then you have burglaries of a business, unauthorized entry into a business, and same thing to commit a crime. And then if you have a firearm, of course, the elements get higher. Robberies are in the course of committing theft, use threat of force or use force. And of course, a robbery first would be a firearm or a dangerous instrument. Robbery second would just be a threat of force to obtain some type of property. And then a theft would just be stealing something, pretty much. Yeah.
Mahalo. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Uncle Dan.
I have a question too.
Hello, Mike. Go ahead, Uncle Art. You have something?
Yeah. The people don't know how to use the roundabout. Especially on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, between the hours of, I would say, 2 to 6 o'clock. The traffic is backed up all the way to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And the reason why is what I noticed, even like tonight, coming here, car in the front was about 7 cars in the front of me. Wouldn't go because the cars are coming. And I think that is one of the biggest hang up we have with the roundabout.
Sorry, can you repeat the times again?
Beg your pardon?
Repeat the times that there's issues?
Yeah.
The time?
It's usually on Saturdays and Sundays, it's usually from 1 o'clock. And the traffic can go
13.
all the way back to Colo Ranch. Like tonight, took me about 10 minutes because the car in the front wouldn't go
Had
into
to-
the, yeah, they're
Everybody
waiting.
just trying to force their way.
Yeah, I think somebody had to bump the horn to get the car rolling. So I think people gotta get educated or it's not gonna be taken care of. It will be a problem.
Yeah, we'll monitor and we'll put something out, sir. Thank you.
Mahalo. Uncle Dan, did you have something else for HPD?
Started out by.
Microphone, Uncle Dan. Microphone. Closer to the microphone.
Uh, You started out by telling us that there were 40 fatalities at the first half of the year for traffic incidences. And that in prior years, there were 10 at this point, or 15 or 20. And we have more speed bumps now than we've ever had.
Mhm.
And that you would think would reduce the fatalities, but it's not.
Mhm.
So there's a real statistical problem. What do you think the reason is for all the people getting either run over by cars, people on motorcycles, many, 13 of the 40 are motorcycle related deaths without helmets or whatever. What could we do? What do you want us to do so that that doesn't grow even more?
So if it's alcohol related, of course, right? It's pretty much nothing you guys can personally do. And then of course, speed is always a factor and inattention to driving. Now with the increase of cell phones, that last one we had was, we don't know what happened because they're unfortunately deceased, right? But they went over the solid line and head-on collision, so we don't know. But of course, the education is always good, right? And of course, call it in, yeah? And a lot of times people, when you see reckless drivers, in everything you guys see, nobody really wants to step up and make a report. So for us to, and it does help. So say you see a reckless driver, get the license plate, call us, and then we can make a miscellaneous public report.
So what's the number?
Excuse me?
The number to.
Oh, just say 911 non-emergency. 911 non-emergency, and you want to meet with an officer. If it's really bad, you know, and like you guys saw the one on Instagram, right? The guy was cutting off everyone and it was posted. So, I mean, we don't really, that's up to you guys. I mean, if you guys want to cooperate with like Mean Hawaii and HHH News and stuff, that seems to really help to get the public aware. Like nobody really wants their plate to be broadcasted, right? Or to see their driving. I wouldn't suggest doing it while you're driving though, you know, because now you're operating a device while you're driving. But say you're a passenger in a vehicle, it wouldn't hurt to open your cell phone and film it. You get the license plate, make a report, and then at least we have it documented. And the more documentation we have on vehicles, the more we can do.
Mahalo, HPD. I just have one more question. We requested that the city do a sweep of Kahalu'u Park here at Kahalu'u Regional Park, and a representative from DPR told me that you folks did complete a sweep. Do you happen to have any details on that you could share with us?
So I would have to ask my community policing guy. But so you want the stats of the sweep?
Of the sweep, yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Board members,
Yeah.
Art, you have something?
Sorry, the sweep that was done last month.
I believe it was done last month. It was
Where exactly
unclear.
now?
This is here at Kahalu'u Regional
Okay.
Park, and specifically where they were holding a bunch of illegal fighting chickens on the undeveloped portion of
Oh, okay.
Kahalu'u Park.
Okay.
And then also for the unleashed stray dog
Stray dog.
situation that we keep having
Okay.
down there at Kahalu'u Regional.
I'll get the stats. for you
Okay,
guys.
I appreciate it. Uncle Art, one more thing?
Yeah, what happened to the Honolulu case, the hit and run? Because usually when there's an accident, why not, man, they blast the paper. Here on the winter side, if you get an accident, you don't hear about it until someone tells you, hey, there was an accident. The one on this side, the person died. The person got hit. So is there any news that come out that,
I gotta check with our traffic division on that one. So the disposition on which one exactly? The pedestrian fatality.
yeah, the person who got hit and died was my neighbor. And I've been trying to read the paper, trying to find out what really happened. And
You call which one? Which
yeah, Andrew Brown was the one that got hit about 4 o'clock in the morning. And he lives on my street. And his sister lives in Las Vegas. So she knew more about what happened than the police officers.
Mhm.
Because she was here about a day after and did the legwork. And I'm kind of confused why that individual that hit the person, there's nothing about it.
Well, the way it works is the initial officers go, they'll take the case, right? They'll document it, report it, and they forward it to a specific detail. So that in that case, it would have been the traffic division and the vehicular homicide detail or the traffic division, and they'll investigate it. So we no longer as officers will it stops there for us, and then it transfers to them, and then they'll continue on with the investigation. And then the family members, and you guys can always call to find out, and which is good. I'm here, so you ask. So I'll find out the disposition of that.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Board members in person, anything else for HPD? Board members online, any other questions or concerns for HPD? Seeing none. Community in person, any questions or concerns for HPD? Seeing none. Community online, anything for HPD? Mahalo, HPD. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on our agenda, we have election of officers, but we don't have quorum right now, so I'm going to defer that to when we do. Moving on to city, state, and federal reports. We have Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative. Regina, are you with us, Regina, online?
Hello, can you hear me?
Aloha. Aloha, Regina. Go ahead.
Hi, Regina Malapai. Aloha, members of the board. I just have two things to follow up on. One was with the Department of Parks and Recreation regarding the signage request near Kahalu'u Regional Park, where I think they were asking if signs could be put up near the end of the beach park going west down the beach. This is so that this can help people know the Hawaii revised statute that states the beaches are public below the high water mark. DPR's response is that they are aware of the area in question, However, at this time, DPR does not support the installation of signage related to the Hawaii revised statutes concerning the high water mark jurisdiction. So they recommend that members of the public contact HPD or Honolulu Police Department should any enforcement matters arise. And then the second issue came from Mr. Masterson in regards to access to public beach. He was saying residents are being threatened by tenants on 49051 property, which is now owned by Kualoa Ranch, that they're blocking access, which they're trying to find more information. So he wanted us to look into it. DPP, Department of Planning and Permitting, says that it does not appear that there is a public access easement on the subject property to the beach, but we need more information to investigate the issue. So we've opened a request for investigation, and then we're going to follow up with Mr. Masterson and hopefully get some updates in a future meeting. That's all I have for today. If you have any questions.
Mahalo, Regina. Board members in person, anything for mayor's office? Board members online, anything for mayor's office? Seeing no hands. Community in person? Auntie Rocky, you got something? Auntie Rocky, please come to the microphone.
Hello, Mike Kako. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the new board members.
Mahalo, Auntie Rocky.
Okay, I have something for the city because, you know, our community has been waiting, I think about almost 10 years now for a crosswalk across by the Hiakea Pier from one bus stop to the other bus stop, crossing each other. The community, seems like things has to be done by the community itself. What does it take to just paint a crosswalk? Almost 10 years have been waiting for it. The city, I mean, this a crosswalk, that's the danger right now because paddling season is there now. There's more and more tourists in the summer, more people using the bus. Plus that, the grass, they usually catch the bus, get off at Hi'ia State Park and walk down to the pier. The grass along the highway from across the street from the Hi'ia State Park, you can see no sidewalk at all. It's all bushes. This afternoon, our staff from the Kahalu'u EV went and tried to clean the bushes around the corner. They cleaned the bushes, but you still can't see the sidewalk. And this has been going on too long. It would be nice, I know the staff is going to go there again tomorrow. It would be nice to see some city workers there, the city highway. You know, last week my son caught the bus home at night because his phone wasn't working. He said it was the spookiest thing he ever did, walking on Kamehameha Highway around that corner by Hi'ia State Park, because you can't see no sidewalk at all. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Auntie Rocky.
Art,
Uncle Art, you have something for the
Yeah.
mayor's office? Go ahead.
I want to follow up on the anti-Rocky. The problem we have, especially in our district, from the King School all the way to the hygienic, is not cleaned. We have a whole bunch of people that are homeless, are staying in the mountain where Auntie Rocky is talking about. The other day, one of the homeless people had to walk on the road to get it back to Kaneohe. I almost hit him myself. And I think this has been going on for many, many years. It seems that whoever is in charge of the city is not doing a good job. My son used to work for the city, and he was telling me that every month on a schedule, there was areas to be cleaned. It seems that nobody cares anymore. And I'm kind of concerned because I think sooner or later, if somebody gets hit, it's not because of the individual walking on the road, it's because that area is not clean. Just about a couple of weeks ago, they cut on the ocean side just before the entrance to the Hia Pier. And this is what should be done all the way to Haiku Road. Haiku Road to the 7-Eleven is a city road. It's not a state. People say, oh, it has to do with the state. It's not the state. The city property is from hygienic store all the way to Toyota. Yeah. That's the city. And if we don't voice ourselves, then nothing is going to be done. And I get kind of concerned because I live in that area. And, you know, I call, even my son calls, and everybody said, oh, we don't do it, we're on a contract. Well, contract with who? Because things need to be done. Thank you.
Mahalo, Uncle Art. We'll go to Keone Machado online. Member Machado.
Hey, how's it? Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm also going to be touching base on what's being spoken of right now. So, representative of the Kahalu'u Canoe Club actually went to the Roads Division office by King School and spoke to the interim supervisor there about getting that grass cut on the mountainside. And that representative of the Canoe Club was told specifically that they were told that that's not their area. Somebody else is responsible for it, and they were told not to do anything about it. But I remember when Jiro was coming to the meetings and we spoke to him about it, and we never heard that before. So I just want to add that to what's being said about that area, because yeah, it is. It's just I've lived here my entire life and I've never seen it this bad. And to be told by the person there that they were told don't touch it, that's concerning to me as a younger member of the community. So I wanted to add that to what's being said now. And that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll definitely try and find out exactly where and who's responsible, but try and get something done.
Mahalo, Regina. Board members in person. Anything else for Mayor's office? Online? Community in person? Oh, Uncle Ken, do you have your hand up? I'm sorry, I can't see. There's a glare. You have something?
You got glare?
I have
Anyway.
glare.
Yeah. Anyway, the right of way for that road is 40 feet. And the road is only 20 feet wide. So basically 10 feet off each side of the road needs to be maintained. So if you can keep that in mind when you're asking the city workers, and all 40 feet of that right of way is owned by the city and needs to be maintained by the city. So and it's been that way since I started with this, well, almost. I was 10 years and then the state gave it to the city. And the city was in denial for 20 years. And then in the last 5 or so years, the city's been reluctantly admitting that it is their responsibility. So 10 feet on each side of the road is to be maintained by the city, and ask them to prove that that's not the case. Because they're going to say, oh, this and that, this and that. No, prove why you do not have that, because it's your property. And it has to be done. It's got to be forceful. It's got to be confrontive, because they're not doing their job. Thank you.
Uncle Ken.
you.
I'm going to go to Auntie Rocky in person and then Uncle Donald Sakamoto. And then on that note, we're going to end off with comments for Mayor's office and move on at the agenda.
Well, the city should know that that property belongs to the city and county of Honolulu on that corner. You look at the mapping. But if you remember a few years ago on Lulani Street, the neighbors were told not to put the rocks on the side of the road to keep people from parking on their grass. Well, they were way in. Now, if you cannot see the sidewalk, the city owns that sidewalk. The whole sidewalk is covered. There should be a painted line on it anyway. You can't see nothing. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Rocky. Uncle Donald, online, you have something else to note? for the city? Uncle Donald?
Yes, yes, Chair, can you hear me? Donald Sakamoto
Yes,
for the
go
record.
ahead.
I'm the president of an advocacy group called Citizens for a Fair AD Ride. I deal with transportation for bus, handy van, and Skyline, unfortunately for Skyline. But we deal with persons with disabilities and the elderly Kapuna mostly. And the ADA law was signed on July 26, 1990. We're going to celebrate 35 years. And this is a sidewalk that needs to be cleared for persons with disabilities, anybody. And I will be sending an email to our mayor and managing director and other people in the city because I have direct contact. And I'll follow up with the mayor and other key people about this. This is a travesty. Thank you.
Mahalo, Uncle Donald. Regina, you still with us?
Yes,
Thank you. Did you get all those notes?
I did. And I
We
think
ap-
Rachel did too. So I will
Okay.
get back and try and get someone directly to talk to because I agree with all of you. So thanks for providing this information. I think I've heard it before. So I will definitely follow up and try and get something back to you guys by next month and hopefully get it done before next month. So
Mahalo,
fingers
Regina. We
crossed.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Yes, fingers crossed. Aloha. Moving on to Councilmember Esther Kia'aina's office. Do we have a representative from Councilmember Kia'aina's office online?
Aloha, you guys. Can you hear me?
Oh, aloha, Councilmember. Go ahead.
Okay, mine's going to be very brief. I know that you guys know that we have passed the city's budget, and I know I haven't seen you guys for a little bit, but I think the items most relevant would include two substations for ambulance services for the Ko'olaupoko region. For my part, I secured $700,000 to establish a ambulance substation near Castle Junction. And as many of you know, the Department of Land and Natural Resources is actually going to be taking over the Hawaii Pacific University site. I actually wanted the city to take over it for homeless and emergency services. Having said that, we worked it out where the city's emergency management services will be able to have an ambulance substation there. So I'm very happy. So the funding will be for an advanced life support team with 1 supervisor, 3 paramedics, and 2 emergency medical technicians. This supplements Councilmember Wire's efforts, and I'm pretty sure that he or his staff have previously provided their update as he secured $500,000 to acquire land and planning and designing funds for a ambulance unit facility in the vicinity of Hakipu'u. And so with both of these substations, we hope to strengthen the capacity of all of the other substations in the region because they, as you know, are thin. They need help. The one specifically by HPU is going to help as a backup for emergency purposes in case Honolulu also needs support, so it can just go up Pali. And that's basically it. I've been very busy as the zoning chair dealing with a multitude of issues, and I'm just here to answer any questions that the community may have for me.
Mahalo, Councilmember. We really appreciate yours and Councilmember Wire's efforts to get us those emergency services that are so important, especially in our rural
I have a
communities.
question too.
Okay, I'm going to go to Uncle Dan first, then Uncle Art, and then other board members in person if you have something. Go ahead, Uncle Dan.
So my question to Esther is, I know that we've experienced tremendous cuts in federal funding, both on the city and the state level. Would you ask the finance director if this might be a good time to change the city's annual budget to a biennial budget, to a 2-year budget that matches up with the state so that funding can be better distributed because it's already been drastically cut for many critical programs of law enforcement and in all the things that the city does. Would you consider
Yes.
talking to the finance director about changing the length of the city's operating budget to 2 years. And so that's my question. You can take a while to answer.
Okay, well, the answer, of course, is yes. I'm on the budget committee, and I will ask that question. You should also know that now that the president signed this humongous bill on the 4th of July, I think it's going to take a while for everybody to digest. We are considering establishing an oversight committee at the city council on federal funding impacts. We were already considering it for several months, but in light of the fact that the 1,000-page bill that was enacted into law is going to have a trickle-down effect, mostly for the federal and state governments. But what's going to happen, it's going to cause a strain on programs across the board. So I think we wanted to have a mechanism at the city council to be able to get direct reports, not just from the city's budget director, but also from the governor's team, both for human services as well as HUD. HUD and human services, are, which includes Medicaid and SNAP, is going to be the biggest impacted. And of course, to hear from Hawaii's congressional delegation and the National Association of Counties and others, because we all need to figure out how we're going to weather those impacts. I do know for myself, I feel that we all need to pivot with what we have. And by that, I mean for the grants and aid program, I have introduced a bill which would decrease the funding from 150,000 currently to 100,000. And why am I doing that? The reason is by decreasing it to 100,000, 40 more nonprofit organizations will be able to get funding. So, and I also think that the Department of Community Services that gives out the funding, as well as the state's GIA program, quite frankly, should pivot and look at those nonprofits that reach our most vulnerable communities, right? Food security, for example, food, housing, all of those kind of issues should be prioritized with regard to all current funding streams. I do know that Chair Waters has said that in addition to that, he might be interested in increasing the overall budget for grants and aid so that more of the community could be served.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you mentioned community services, because that's one of the examples of a department that's about 90 or 95% federal money. So there's really only 5 or 10 million of city funds. I just can't imagine how they're even going to run a Department of Community Services. Have you guys figured that out?
Well, first we need to find out the actual impacts, which is why I believe we need to have the committee, because, you know, I don't know if you've been following what's been going on with Maui, but even, and Maui was from the HUD CDBG recovery program, right? A DBR program. They received full funding under this current administration. So I know that there are actual cuts, but until we can verify exactly what programs, we all need to figure out how we are going to mitigate those funding cuts. But again, I think it's so important with regard to current funding streams that we prioritize for our most vulnerable communities, because they have the general discretion on a great majority of programs, and perhaps we need to reconsider whether we take a pause on some of the general programs and only prioritize those fundings where the community and the organizations that serve those communities could direct those fundings to those parties. So it's just not mitigating funds, it's using our current funds efficiently. That is my point.
I have no doubt that you're using the city funds extremely efficiently. I'm concerned that there are essential programs that are going to have to be filled in for with money, general funds that were funded by federal funds. And as you know, the amount of federal funds is so drastically cut. There are major programs that are just going to have to disappear, I think.
I agree with you. We still don't know what's going to happen to our community development block grants yet, and that's an $8 million program. Thank you.
Mahalo, Councilmember. Uncle Art.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations. Also, this is my 36 year on this board. And I think it's really important that we have people get active in our community, because it seems that the community really needs help. And it's persons like you, I think it's gonna help us a lot. One of the problems I have is with the Neighborhood Board Commission. I did not receive any minutes for the last couple meetings. And my grandson is also lives at the same house, and usually we get the minutes for the meeting. I'm surprised, like tonight, some of the old timers are not here. And I'm quite sure they didn't get the minutes.
Okay,
Oh.
mahalo, Uncle Art. Let's stay with Councilmember Kia Aina's office for right now, and we can go over those, discrepancies
I-
later on in the meeting.
Chair, I will definitely follow up on behalf of Mr. Machado with the Neighborhood Board Commission to make sure that you guys get timeliness of the minutes.
Okay, mahalo, Councilmember. I'm actually looking at the minutes right now, Uncle Art, so I'll show you where they come up.
Well, this morning I called the neighborhood board, and the answer I got was the individual that talked to me said, that's not his job, and he couldn't help me.
Okay,
And to me,
so,
that's a lot of bull when somebody responds that way.
I
Because-
understand, Uncle Art.
Because I try to be as active as I can. And the persons that are subject to something like that, and it's not helping, especially members just got on the board. You gotta be aware of what your communities are all about. And if you don't get a bulletin, you wouldn't know the area you're in and what kind of help is needed. Thank you.
Mahalo, Uncle Art. So actually, at our installation ceremony, it's actually not the NCO's kuleana to produce the minutes. They do that to assist us. It's actually our kuleana as a board to review and produce the minutes. But since everything is recorded, the time-stamped minute recordings are available on our agenda, and then that's what we approve as we move forward. So I can show you, Uncle Art, where it is, if you need help after this. Okay. Board members in person, anything else for Councilmember Kia Aina? Board members online, anything else for Councilmember Kia Aina? Seeing none. Community in person. Oh, Uncle Dan, one more quick thing.
Thank you very much for showing up online. We appreciate your being with us.
Thank you.
Community in person, anything for council member? Community online, anything for
Donald.
council member?
Hmm.
Marie, go ahead.
Well, Donald was first.
Okay, go ahead, Donald. Uncle Donald, you have the floor.
I'll start.
Yes, can
Are
you
you
hear me
ready,
now?
Donald?
Go ahead,
Can you hear me
Marie.
now?
We'll wait for Uncle Donald to come back. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start. Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman, for your support throughout the years, and I'm really glad to hear about this extra service. Is there a estimated time for activation or establishment? Did I miss that, or?
That's that's a good question. I know for mine, with regard to Councilmember Wires, substation in Hakipu'u, I believe that that's still in the formative stage for land acquisition, planning, design, etc. I think mine is more ready to go, and the reason is that HPU already has a facility there. What they're waiting for is the Department of Land and Natural Resources to follow up with their agreement with the is it the Castle Hospital, and so all we would need for the Castle Junction location would be for the bodies, and then of course the funding will be used for rent. So I will follow up, but I'm praying that it would be within 6 months, because the fiscal year has started July 1st, so they have the full funding readily available. And I have no doubt that they're going to be able to secure the necessary personnel. So it's a matter of the finalization of the agreement between the Department of Land and Natural Resources and Castle Hospital. And so I will be following up on that. But thank you for the question.
Reason that I approached this is because I got to have a meeting with the new DEM director, and this is part and parcel of the emergency response for our community, and it's a big plus.
Yes. In fact, I don't know if he's aware because he's emergency management. This is going to come under Dr. Ireland. So let him know about it. I know he's been endeavoring to see me, but out of all of the directors, I've never met with him personally. Communications is a two-way street. And I think he could do a better job at reaching out to council members. That's
Okay,
my
I'll
opinion
bring
about the
that
new
up.
director.
I'll bring that up. We got a meeting on 23rd, I think it is. And he's kind of a
Yes.
newbie for those of you that don't know who we're talking about. He's when did he come on? Beginning of last month? Randall
I don't-
Collins.
It's been more than a month, so you can tell him that.
Okay, I
I'm
will.
on the
You know I will. All right.
I'm on the public safety committee, and what I'd like
Oh,
to
cool.
do, given all of the fires we've been having, is I would like an update on the mayor's interagency group that he had with regard to fire mitigation on Oahu, and that's something we're probably going to have a hearing about. So I'm going to talk to Chair Toba. I'm the vice chair of the committee, so
That's
let
good.
him know about that. Thank you.
Wait, will you give me too much? Esther? Put that in the chat. Put that
I'm
in the
just
chat.
joking. I'm going to do it myself, and the mayor's
Or
rep is
email
online, so-
me, please. Yeah, and I mean, you know,
Okay,
add the weight because this is a cross island CERT meeting that's coming up.
Yeah,
So
no
it's not
problem.
just me. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
mahalo.
Okay,
Mahalo,
Chair.
Marie. Uncle Donald, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for letting me speak. Esther, this is Donald Sacco. Thank you for the ceremony you did, the awards for myself and other colleagues for the 35th anniversary of proclamation with you and Tommy Waters and the other city council members. It's great to meet you folks and accept the award. And just want to let you know I'm on the statewide Independent Living Council of Hawaii, just approved by Governor Green for this month. And I will be going to Washington, D.C. for the National Conference on Independent Living. And we are going to meet our congressional delegation, all four of them. And I will bring up this concern about Medicaid and SNAP and everything else. I'm very worried
Absolutely.
about people. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to work with you. I'll give you a call and we can
Okay.
discuss more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mahalo, council member. We appreciate you being with us. Right. Yep. Right now, we're going to circle back to the top of our agenda. We have a representative from HFD here. Mahalo, HFD, for being with us. Yes, please come to the microphone.
Hello, Captain Sueda, Engine 37, Kahalu'u. Apologize, we had a concerned citizen. So I was talking story with her. But so the statistics for June 2025, we had one structure fire, 30 medicals, one motor vehicle collision with pedestrian, one motor vehicle crash or collision. I apologize, 3. We had one mountain rescue and one hazardous materials incident. The safety tip for July 2025 is about wildland fire awareness, prevention, and preparedness. Lighten the load, reduce the risk of ignition by maintaining your yard and cleaning your gutters to remove fuels. Clear, cool, and contain clear vegetation 10 feet around campfires, barbecues. Keep a shovel and water nearby and ensure fires are completely extinguished before leaving. Watch the spark. Ensure machinery, chainsaws, weed trimmers, and recreational vehicles with operating spark arresters are maintained regularly. For any information, you can visit the online resources, the HFD, Honolulu.gov, Department of Emergency Management, and the Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization.
Mahalo, HFD. We won't hold you long. We know you have important work to do. Board members in person, board members online, community in person, Auntie Rocky.
I did hear about that. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, there's a lot of California grass in that area, and it was really hard the terrain was real tough, I think, for that one. Yeah.
Community online. Marie, go ahead.
Thank you to the fire department. They're doing a presentation on August, the 12th at the Kaneohe Senior Community Center regarding Firewise for our community. So thank you for your concern for our issues, and just want to let everybody know that you're out there in the community letting us know.
Thank you.
Mahalo,
welcome.
Marie. Anybody else? Uncle Donald, can you make it a quick one?
Yeah, just want to talk to, elaborate, Maria, I'm on the CERT committee, and it's going to be at 6:30 at that location on that particular day, evening. Thank you.
Mahalo. Mahalo, HFD.
Okay,
We
thank you.
appreciate your time. Oh, Kalamai, we got one more. Joe, quickly, please.
I was just wondering if I could get, if you guys do community presentations, I'd like contact for that. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can do
Perfect.
that.
Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Mahalo. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go back down in our agenda, back to city, state, and federal reports, and we are now with Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Chelsea, do we have you online?
Everyone, yes, can you hear me? See me okay?
Yes, mahalo.
Perfect, thank you. I'll make mine brief and I'll provide some resources in the chat as well. Just want to mahalo and echo Councilmember Kia Aina's report. We do have some highlights from the budget that we did include in our newsletter. So I'm going to try and multitask here and just paste some resources for you folks. We put this out in our monthly district newsletter. And so if you folks haven't subscribed to it already, please feel free to sign up. It is on Councilmember Matt Wire's website. In regards to the ambulance facility, so this is the one I think I had mentioned a few meetings ago, just to give you folks a update. I understand HGSD has been in talks with perhaps the building owner for Kingdom, and so I think those are in the formative stages, still planning to move forward with the facility there. Another quick highlight I wanted to just read from our newsletter. This one has to do with coast stewardship in Waikane. So our office and Department of Emergency Services with Ho'iho'i'ea met to discuss co-stewardship of a 29-acre parcel of a city-owned land in Waikane. And so this partnership focuses on agroecological and cultural practices aimed at restoring the area through sustainable land management. And so this is just a step along the way. This is still sort of in the preliminary formative stages as well, as far as conversation is going and planning is going, but we're hoping to have a management agreement by fall. And we just want to mahalo the members and the org. If I know that there's some folks that are on the board that come to these meetings, so mahalo there. So I did just go ahead and paste the resources into the chat box. And so if you folks have any questions, happy to bring it back to the team. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Chelsea. Board members in person, anything for Councilmember Wire's office? Board members online, anything for Councilmember Wire's office? Community in person? Community online?
Oh, before
Mahalo,
I
Chelsea. Go ahead.
I wrap up, I'm so sorry, Carla. I forgot one thing. I did just hear back today from the Department of Facilities Maintenance about cutting some of the overgrown grass. I know that this was a conversation that was brought up with Mayor's office. We got a message from Department of Facilities Maintenance that someone had gone out there to cut maybe a portion of it in late June, and they're scheduled to go again in August. And so that's what we received from the department and wanted to give you folks that update.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Anybody have any comments to that note? Board members in person, online, community in person or online? Seeing none. Thanks so much, Chelsea. I appreciate the update. Moving on to Board of Water Supply. Barry, do we have you online with us?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Barry.
Yeah, so we have no main breaks to report in Kahalu'u for the month. Our water production for May was 137 million gallons per day, which is higher than May of last year and higher than the 5-month moving average. So we've been having some hot days and some dry weather, kind of off and on. I know we had some heavy rains in 2 months, but then generally it's been dry. So as a general announcement, July is smart irrigation month. So it's basically the hottest months of the year is usually July, August, and September. It's the beginning of our peak demand for outdoor water use. And as the heat kicks in, the sprinklers go into overdrive. So our announcement is to be water smart for July, this July. Check for leaky or misdirected sprinkler heads. Water early in the morning to reduce evaporation. Attach a shut-off nozzle to your garden hose to avoid waste. Install a weather-based irrigation controller, and that's eligible for BWS water sensible rebate. Capture rainwater in a rain barrel, also eligible for a water sensible rebate. And to find out more about rebates, go to our website at borderwatersupply.com. Smart irrigation helps keep your landscape green and may lower your water bill. And that's my report. I'll be available for any questions. Thank you.
Mahalo, Barry. Board members in person? Anything for Board of Water? Board members online? Anything for Board of Water Supply? Okay. Community in person? Anything for BWS? Marie, go ahead.
I do, thank you. Yeah, Barry, I wanted to thank you for over the years supporting me in my efforts to push for water conservation. I want to apologize for not following through on reporting restaurants, et cetera, that do not adhere to city ordinances. But I guess I'm going to take this opportunity to make it known to the board that it is, and you can help me with this, not necessarily an ordinance or whatever's, that restaurants are not to serve water without asking the residents, and it's always been a concern of mine for conserving water. And of course, in this terrible fire environment that we're in, it's even more of an issue. So like I said, my thanks for the work that you do. My apologies for not being more of a water, what would you call me? Police semi-official. And I hope that the board will make an issue for this very important need of conserving water. Thank you.
Mahalo, Marie.
Thank you for
You're
that,
welcome.
Mary. I just wanted to point out that we have a water waste hotline to call. So that number is 808-748-5041. So if you see it, report it, and then we'll follow up on it. Thank you. I appreciate
Mahalo,
your.
Barry. Uncle Donald, you have something quick, please?
Yeah, I just got a question on the sewer rates. They went up this month already, but how about the water rates? When is the water rates gonna go up for us?
I think they're scheduled for July 1st of each
Oh,
year.
Okay, all right. I'll check my bill then. Thank you.
Mahalo, Uncle Donald. Mahalo, Barry, for being with us. Appreciate your time. Moving on in our agenda to Governor Josh Green's office. Katie, do we have you online?
Aloha. Yes. Hi.
Aloha, mahalo. Go ahead, Katie.
Hi. I am going to put the link to the governor's newsletter for this month in the chat. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to go over the highlights of the newsletter, which does introduce the new state fire marshal. who was brought on June 2nd. Also, the Ala Moana walkway was that bridges Ward Village to Ala Moana Regional Park. There's other highlights is Matt Elliott as the next UH Manoa Athletics Director. The Hawaii Green Business Program recognizes the business commitment to energy. And the DHS Rapid Response Event supporting Waimanalo community. I do have a follow-up from the last meeting for board member Keone Machado. My understanding is that he wanted to have more information about the status of his application. I'm not exactly sure what communications may have happened with the boards and commissions of the governor's office secretary, but I do know that the legislature is not in session, and I believe that the appointment needs to be go through the Senate's advice and consent process. So if you do have questions about that, I can connect with board member Machado offline, and maybe we can get to what he needs to know next, and I can help him with that. Otherwise, I'll be happy to take back any other questions or concerns to the governor's office.
Mahalo, Katie. I believe Auntie Rocky resolved the issue with member Machado for his temporary appointment since the legislature is not currently in session. Is that correct, Auntie Rocky? So no need to worry about that, but mahalo. Anybody
you.
have anything for Gov's office? Board members in person? Auntie Rocky's going to come up.
I have a concern with the governor's office, and this has come before our neighborhood board right before the recess on the Hiakia Pier water issue. The water pipe, they had an issue with the canoe club with the water pipe that's 3 feet off the ground near the canoe hale. Well, recently that pipe was put in there in 1985 by Governor Wahehe, because I was there when we asked to put it in. Okay, another pipe just got cut off. We had no meeting for that, and that's the shower there. And that shower was put there in June of 1978 by Governor Ariyoshi. Okay, the Department of Land and Natural Resources was not was created in 1991. So those were gifts from both governors to the community. I called around and asked, why was the showers taken down? The shower is not only used by the canoe club, it's used by retired people like myself. They go there every day. They have a route that they use, the kayakers. They rinse off at that shower. Now, okay, to rinse off, they're not going to bend 3 feet off the ground to rinse off. There's only one shower there on Hiakia Pier. I don't know why they took it away. I called the harbors. I called all the way up. I asked, I called Representative Lisa Takao because she recently put in funding for the upgrade on the pier, which is, they're doing it right now on the sewage and all that. Okay, and finally got to talk to, because I got pulled around. I'm so sick of excuses. I'm looking for solutions. So then I called actually Don Chang. We talked about it. She came out, with a few excuses too. One was the water was, when they looked into it, it was kind of like contaminated. Well, if it's contaminated, close the whole thing down. Then it was like, who's like the bill of the water? Who's going to pay the water? I lived there. Almost every night you see people washing their cars in the washdown area where the boats wash down. Okay, you can't wash down to shower when you're coming out of the water. We have a fishing tournament coming up. People are going to be in the water. They're going to wash down 3 feet off the ground. We need the showers to be put back there because there's too much excuses. And if they're talking about the water bill, who's paying Ala Moana Park? That was the question I asked them. I want to see the governor in person. I'm asking for an appointment to see the governor in person. Because if it takes an act of the governor to put that shower back in, because 2 different governors put in the pipe and the shower for the community, and I think the community was deprived of taking it away. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Auntie Rocky. So are we clear on the ask there, Katie? Auntie
Yes,
Rocky would like an appointment in person with Gov to discuss
Okay.
getting that water back on and for our community at Heiakea.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I am gonna go to board members online. I see none. Community online. I see Uncle Donald Sakamoto. You got something quick, Uncle Donald?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. You know, Auntie Rocky came to our Kahalu'u neighbor board last month, brought up the same situation. I gave her my business card. I do have access to Josh Green directly on his phone. So, Auntie Rocky, if you want to contact me, I give you my card. Please do, and then we can do something if you haven't heard anything from the governor's office. Thank you.
Mahalo, Uncle Donald. Mahalo, Katie, for your time.
Thank you.
Moving on in our agenda to Senator Brenton Awa's office. We normally have McKenna, but we have Liz Tatofi Tavaki online. Aloha, Liz.
Aloha, Chair, board members, and members of the community. Like just mentioned, my name is Elizabeth Tabake, and I'll be giving tonight's quick report update on behalf of Senator Awa. First, some of you may have already heard the news at the federal level that the U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced that Chinese nationals and other foreign adversaries will no longer be allowed to purchase farmland in the United States. This is relevant to our office because it's a big step in protecting our agricultural lands, something that Senator Wah has been passionate about from the very beginning. On his trip to Washington, D.C. last month, he was able to meet with several key federal agencies, including the USDA, to talk about issues important to Hawaii. Earlier this year, he introduced SB 1, which would have stopped foreign ownership of agricultural lands here at home. While the bill didn't get a hearing, another measure he introduced with Senator Gabbard, SB 242, made it through the Senate, but unfortunately died in the House. Even though the state bills didn't move forward this year, this new federal action helps move that same goal forward. Senator Wah will continue to stay in touch with USDA contacts to see how this impacts Hawaii and how we can make sure our local communities benefit from these protections. On the community side, we're really excited about the progress that we've been making with the Kahalu'u Genki Ball project. This project, as we mentioned before, will help restore one of the dirtiest waterways in the state right here in Kahalu'u. We're working with the principals from 4 area elementary schools to bring this into their classrooms for the new school year. The hope is that by getting our keiki involved, we're not just cleaning the pond, but also teaching the next generation to take care of our aina. I can kind of touch up on what Auntie Rocky was talking about with the Cognac Canoe Club. We had reached out to Alexandra Hastings, property manager at Dobar. Auntie Rocky mentioned she don't know why they took the showers down. Dobar had stated that they had removed the shower facilities attached to the comfort stations because they were due to concerns about standing water and ponding in the immediate area, which is situated near the wastewater treatment plant. But they also had reached out to the Kahalu'u Canoe Club and let them know that they are able to retain a licensed engineer to design and a compliant shower back at where they originally had their initial shower at. According to Dobar, to this date, they haven't received any proposals yet from the Kahalu'u Canoe Club. This was given to me last week. I will follow up with them this week to see if there's any updates on both Dobar or the Kahalu'u Canoe Club, unless someone's there to speak on their behalf. But besides that, that was just a quick update. If there's any questions, I can take back with me to Senator Awa.
Mahalo, Liz. Board members in person, anything for Senator Awa's office? Board members online, anything for Senator Awa's office? Community in person, anything? Community online, Marie?
Regarding foreign ownership of lands, excuse me, in Ko'olau, Loa Ano Poko, is this really an issue?
When we did our research and our due diligence during session, as we were drafting SB1 and SB 242, it was a statewide issue. Also in our district, in District 23. Yes. So yes, the answer is yes.
Any kind of percentages?
Mahalo, Marie. Any more community online? Kalamai. Slight glare from this light. Seeing none. Mahalo, Liz.
Thank you, Jesse.
Moving on in our agenda to Representative Lisa Kitagawa's office. Do we have a representative from Rep Kitagawa's office? Oh, hi,
Hi,
Representative.
I'm
Go
here.
ahead.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations to the new board members. I'm Lisa Kitagawa. I represent District 48, Kaneohe to Ka'ava. So just a quick update. I know we've been talking about a lot of different things already. About a few weeks ago, at the end of June, all of you should have got our annual end of session newsletter. It's our big newsletter that provides updates from the session and things that are happening in the community. So hopefully you got that. If not, it is on our website as an electronic document. If you go to repkitagawa.com, you'll find all our previous newsletters there. Also want to just highlight an event that's coming up this week. So every year for the past 5 years now, Rep Scott Matayoshi and I do a Castle Complex school supply drive where we provide school supplies to the 8 elementary schools, King Intermediate and Castle High School. And over the past 4 years, we've been able to do about 500 supplies for 500 students, or school supply sets for 500 students, thanks to the generosity of the community. So we will be at Windward Mall again this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 10 to 7 and Sunday from 10 to 6, collecting school supplies as well as monetary donations. And then next week we will be sorting and packing all of those school supplies and getting them out to the 10 schools in the Castle Complex area by the end of next week. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you if you've already done donations online or if you plan to come this weekend, and I can answer any questions people might have.
Mahalo, Rep Kitagawa. Board members in person, anything for Rep Kitagawa? Board members online, anything for Rep Kitagawa's office? Community in person? Community online. Auntie Rocky, you coming back in? Do you have anything for Lisa? Anything for Lisa? Just mahalo for all the good work. Thanks for giving us your time tonight, Representative.
Thank you. Bye.
Mahalo. Aloha. Moving on to Windward Community College, Chancellor Artis Eschenberg. Artis, are you with us tonight? Okay, if she comes on, we'll come back to her. Moving on, Kaneohe Bay Regional Council. I guess we're going to Member Machado. Keone, are you still online?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything to report?
So yeah, we in this past meeting we had, I was present for. Thank you to Auntie Rocky. We were talking about the issue of non-licensed operators out on the sandbar on the weekends and seeing ways that we can better police that going on. There's a lot more concentration of people bringing boats in from outside places, and it's believed that they are running illegal shuttles out to the sandbar, bringing people out, illegal parties, things that aren't part of the Kaneohe Bay Master Plan. So that's one thing that they're working on with the Makai Watch. And another thing that we spoke about was the issue with the Canoe Club. And the final thing is we created a temporary committee that is going to be reviewing the Kaneohe Bay Master Plan, which I'm a part of. The goal is to go through the Kaneohe Bay Master Plan and see and look at the things that are already being enacted and taken care of, and look for the things that aren't being, and seeing what we can do to further work on those points, those issues, whatever it may be, to get it all taken care of as best as possible. So that's what's new for the Kaneohe Bay Regional Council.
Mahalo, Member Machado. Any questions from board members for Member Machado? Board members online? Seeing none. Community in person? Community online? Mahalo, Member Machado. Moving on to U.S. Congress Representative Joe Tokuda. Do we have someone from Oh, aloha,
Yes.
Emily. Please go ahead.
Aloha, Chair and members of the board. I'm Congresswoman Takuta's Community Relations Manager. I have an update on the Congresswoman's work in DC. Last week was a busy week for her. She started off in Waianae doing some community visits and then ended up back in DC to vote against the final enacted version of the Republican reconciliation bill. She voted against it because it would gut healthcare for 17 million people across the country, slash food assistance for 22,000 people in Hawaii, and increase the national debt by $5 trillion in the next decade. Some of the amendments that she proposed to the bill would have protected rural hospitals, food assistance, health insurance for keiki, student loans, and the livelihood of farmers. Unfortunately, all of her amendments were struck down. Despite her and House Democrats' opposition, the bill passed narrowly in the House and was signed into law. Her full statement and list of offered amendments are available on her website. She also introduced a new bill called the Save Our Loan Emergency Services Act, which would address Medicare underpayments for our rural hospitals in Hawaii and Alaska. The bill would ensure that Medicare reimburses at rates that reflect the unique challenges and disparities that increase healthcare costs in non-contiguous states. She also introduced the Essential Air Service Reliability Act to increase air service reliability for our neighbor islands. The bill would require that EAS carriers include contingency plans for maintenance and non-weather emergencies as part of the application process for federal funding. Other community updates that we have,
Nothing. I'm playing
she spent
my
time in
phone.
Waimanalo meeting with the
Member Machado, can you mute your screen, please? Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize.
She spent time in Waimanalo meeting with former Hawaii Job Corps alumni to listen to their stories about the positive impact that the Job Corps program had on their lives. And in a statement that she released previously, she condemned the Trump administration's closing of the Job Corps. She also met with Oahu's emergency dispatchers to learn to understand how better to assist our first responders in the 2nd Congressional District. She has sponsored the Crisis Assistance and Resources in Emergencies for First Responders Act, which can be found on her website. And she's also co-sponsored the 911 Saves Act. And then lastly, she has met with the National Weather Service, the Tsunami Warning Center, to discuss, how staff and funding cuts are impacting them and how they're keeping up, trying to ensure our communities remain safe and informed. And then she also met with the staff that manages the SNAP Ed funding and discussed the impact that the end of that funding would have on our local programs. I'm happy to take any questions.
Mahalo, Emily, for that report. Board members in person, anything for Rep. Takuta? Board members online? Community in person? Joe?
Aloha. Thank you so much for coming. I know that that was a really wild week. Mahalo for everything that you've done for funding to Hawaii. I appreciate that. The question that I have is, in the last maybe like 4 or 5 months, Key Project, which uses federal funding to run programs for kupuna, and like we have garden programming that was federally funded, and we had a pretty significant, I had a bunch of things I was doing get cut. We were preparing applications for EPA and NOAA funding that went away. And so we're preparing something for an ANA grant. But my ask to you is if you could help us get a little bit of better clarity on what funding programs seem most likely to be able to follow through so that we can look forward to continuing to support our community. Thank you. That's a hard question. I don't know if you have an answer for that, but I would appreciate it.
I don't have an answer at this time about your specific situation, but please reach out to our office. I guess I will add my contact information in the chat, and then hopefully someone can pass it along. But our office would be able to assist, in researching those kinds of opportunities. And then once if there is a grant that you decide to apply to, we can provide a letter of support as well. So I'll continue to work
Mahalo.
with you on this.
Thank you so much.
Community online, anything for Rep. Tokuda's office? Seeing no hands. Mahalo, Emily, for being with us tonight. Moving on in our agenda to Kaneohe Marine Corps Base, Auntie Christie, Kaluhiva.
Hi, good evening, board, chair, and new members. Welcome, congratulations. Put on your belt, it's gonna be a rough one. Nah. So just a couple of updates. I think I've missed the last couple of months vacation. We were away. I missed you guys. This is one of my favorite boards, and Waimanalo. And Kaneohe. Yeah, Uncle Donald, I won't forget you. Couple of updates. We've been very focused on two upcoming open base events that are keeping everybody very busy. So this coming weekend on Sunday, we are hosting the Kaupiko Canoe Regatta. Again, this is an open base. All you need to do is drive up with your driver's license and say, I'm going to the regatta, and they will direct you from there. So we're very excited about this. The first race of the day is dedicated to the military. So far we've got 5 units that are putting forth members to participate in that. So we're pretty excited to see how that comes out. Last year, the RIMPAC, we had all of the visiting nations put forth, and the Tongans won. Go figure. Also the air show, which will be on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. The 8th is open up to military card holders. So if you're a civilian that works on base, you can view the show on the 8th, which is kind of like a rehearsal. On the 9th and the 10th, that's when it's open to the whole public. So please come out and visit. And I have flyers on the table if you folks want to take them to share with other members of your community.
Is that August?
August 8th, 9th, and 10th, yes. The base participated in the 4th of July parade in Kailua. The CO and the Sergeant Major, Marfor Pack Band, and the Color Guard participated. And we also had 5 members from a unit participate in the McFarland Canoe Regatta in Waikiki. So lots of activities. Everybody's been very busy, but that's all I have at the moment. The Canoe Regatta is keeping me really busy this week. But if you have any questions.
Mahalo, Auntie Christie. I have questions unrelated to your report. Could you give us any feedback on the ICE agents that are going to be stationed or are already currently stationed on MCBH?
So I did get some questions yesterday and today. That report was actually information from a couple of months ago. The ICE agent is not implemented at the gate, but it is in support of our installation. They have a database that the Provost Marshal does not have. In the article, it also lists the 3 Marine Corps bases within the United States that did get ICE agents. And the purpose of that is we get a lot of foreign nationals that visit. We probably do foreign national visits several times a month. In addition, because we're such a wonderful location and ends at H3, we have a lot of people that end up there not knowing that they're ending up in a Marine Corps base or an installation and need to be turned around. So basically, it's just they're not there like the news is reporting. That's not their focus. That's not their mission. So thank you for asking.
Mahalo, Auntie Christie. Board members in person. Uncle Art, you have something for Auntie Christie?
Still planning to bring in the Blue Angels.
Sir, they are. They are arriving on, I believe, the 6th, and we're working the contract to have Miss Hawaii greet them. And we also sent out invitations to some community leaders like artists to fly on the big C-130. So she'll be joining several other community members. Also, Bonnie Kahapea from Panihonimoku will be participating in that event, which will occur on the 7th of August.
Mahalo. Board members in person, anything else to add or ask? Board members online, anything for MCBH? Seeing none. Community in person? Seeing none. Community online? Mahalo, Auntie Christy. We're going to take a short recess because we don't have quorum until we swear in some of our new board members because we just closed an election period. So we're going to take a short recess for that. And everyone that's here, eat. And everyone that's not here, you're missing out on a lot of good food. There's sushi, there's Chinese food, there's baked spaghetti, there's pizza, there's all kinds of stuff. So you should be here in person next time, not just when you have grievances. Okay, thanks. Recess.
Jesse.
Keone, are you still online?
I am online. Yeah, that's why I was about
Okay,
to.
thank you.
That's why I
Can
unmuted
I
so
actually
that.
do the oath of office with you on here
Yeah,
too?
yeah. So I just texted Jesse to find out if I got to get sworn in too. Still.
Okay.
So yeah, can.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read the oath of office and then I'll have you repeat after me.
Okay.
Let me just grab the paper real quick.
Okay. Thank you. I would have been there in person, but my wife had to work at the hospital tonight, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna start reading the lines now. Okay. I solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
support the Constitution
support the Constitution
and the laws of
and the laws of
the United States of America,
the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the state of Hawaii,
of the state of Hawaii,
the charter and laws
the charter and laws
of the city and county of Honolulu,
of the city and county of Honolulu,
and the provisions of the neighborhood board plan,
and the provisions of the neighborhood board plan,
and will constitutionally and impartially
and conscientiously or partially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
as a member of the neighborhood board
as a member of the neighborhood board
to which I have been elected or appointed.
to which that I have been elected or appointed.
Okay, thank you. I will notate that you did this online with me.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, now we can.
See, that's free time.
Not gonna happen again.
It isn't.
No, it's okay. Be happy. This is the last time.
Yeah. Then in the morning we can go outside free times again.
What? No, we got gymnastics tomorrow.
Yeah.
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 But
Want to walk on the grass?
no. I want to go walk.
You can see talk from here.
Yeah, he went to go pick up Grandpa. You're not Paul yet, bro. Oh, yeah, we in recess.
Can you open the door?
Make
No, it's okay. I gotta go back downstairs this way.
Then we'll see you tomorrow and you can come to our gymnastics. Tomorrow.
Yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, no, I know it was.
You good. You good, guys.
Say good night.
Dad,
Yeah.
can we look in there and walk around in there?
No, not right now. We can do it tomorrow though.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dad,
Yes.
I'm ready, and
we are done. I think I need to tell you.
One last thing.
And I try to poop.
I did just okay. I'm done. Ready? Yep. I chew and swallow.
I'm not. I'm gonna chew with my mouth full. Like, so good.
Did it here?
I put out a video and 4,000 of you watched and nobody came. Era. Okie dokie, board members and community, keep eating and enjoying, but I'm gonna call us back in. At 7:29, we're out of recess and back in session. Moving on in our agenda to community topics. So we have leash dog privileges in the community parks because the city is putting out an initiative to bring leash dog privileges to our city parks. But this is specifically what we're looking at in Kahalu'u. I'd sent a letter of my own volition to the parks representative, Nate Sirota, and to Director Thielen, and also to Senator Chris Lee, who is helping co-sponsor this initiative. Information Specialist Sirota, do I have you online? Was he online? Oh, shucks, we missed our opportunity. Nate Sirota, yes. So I guess just briefly, for those of you who didn't read the proposal, Parks wants to bring leash dog privileges to Kahalu'u Regional Park, Kahalu'u Community Park, Ohui Manu, Waiahole Beach Park, and also I believe Lainani Beach Park. I might have missed one there. I wrote to the city of my own volition, not referencing this board, essentially letting them know that we had issues here at Kahalu'u Regional Park that needed to be addressed before we introduced another issue to tackle in the future regarding the stray dogs and the issues that we've had with the violent homeless and also the illegal fighting chickens in Kahlo Park. DPR told me, Nate Sirota had told me at the installation ceremony that there was a sweep, and that's what I was inquiring with HPD for, and I guess we'll get an update on that. But the comment period for this, I believe, ends in August. I also expressed that it might be problematic to give leash dog privileges at Waiahole Beach Park and Lainani Beach Park because of the shoreline situation there. We don't want to introduce more issues than we need to. I also let them know that Ohui Manu seemed reasonable, and so did Kahalu'u community, but Kahalu'u community also suffers some of the issues that Kahalu'u Regional suffers with stray dogs and violent homeless. So does anybody have anything they want to comment on for this?
Yeah, so I also contacted Nate because I know him pretty well. And I guess the issue that I was commenting on was having a dog park in Kahalu'u Regional Park and how like that was really like totally off the wall. So maybe we could put it on the agenda at some point later and quickly get back to them because there are already plenty dog owners using the park and everything's working out fine. The only issue is stray dogs. And that the Parks Department is pretty much ignored. There you go. Oh, and by the way, I walk there every night and I haven't seen any more
Since the sweep.
at this point. And I haven't seen any homeless people out in the woods either. with
Okay,
dogs.
was that recently, Uncle Dan, since the sweep had supposedly been completed? Okay. Well, it's on the agenda right now because I believe we'll miss the comment period by next time. I believe it's August. It's on our agenda right now. This is an agendized item. We have not responded to them as a board, so that was why I wanted to get some clarification from HPD or DPR about what's going on in Kahalu'u Regional. Does anybody have comments to add to this, or because unless we put together some sort of resolution, they're just going to make their decision for Kahalu'u Parks essentially based on my letter. Does anybody have anything that they're vehemently against or for that you want the city to consider?
Sometimes it's better to just leave things the way they are. And this is one of those occasions. That's what I wrote to Nate. And we don't need to have them come in and do something that we didn't ask for that has no relevance to our neighborhood. And I think that's really important that we do a reso on that. But we probably don't have time, do we?
So I'm in agreement with you, Uncle Dan. Let's table this. Can I get a motion to move this to board business?
Chair,
Anybody?
Kalamai, this is Nate
Oh,
Sirota.
aloha, Nate. Perfect. We were just talking about you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
sorry.
joining us.
No, sorry, I logged off when you folks went on recess, and I'm just getting down from Cocoa Crater from putting up some signs following that really terrible accident that happened over the weekend.
Yes, we heard about that. Thank you for
yeah.
taking care of that signage.
No problem. Yeah, so sorry
Are you
that
in
I
a
jumped off real
safe
quick.
spot to talk before we continue?
I am, yes. That's one of the reasons I logged off. I wanted to focus on the tramway and my footwork while I was descending.
Okay, so real quickly, the comment period for the leash dog privileges that the city is trying to introduce ends in August. Is that correct?
So not necessarily, no. So we had the original deadline in September just to try and get a more cohesive approach so that we could, make a larger effort to, change over some of the dogs or some of the parks to leash dog parks. But by all means, this is not the end of the discussion. If you folks want to come back at a later time to discuss Kahalu'u Regional Park and make it, either keep it the same or extend that on-leash dog park privilege, we can certainly revisit at a later time. So by no means is this a, be all end all effort. We can revisit it at another time.
Okay, mahalo, Nate. And then also I wanted to check in. I checked with HPD if they had any details on the sweep that we spoke about. Do you have anything further to update us on with the sweep at Kahalu'u Regional?
Yeah, so it was on June 5th. I believe they encountered 4 encampments. Give me a second, I will pull up some notes that I took. Yeah, 4 campsites were addressed and cleaned up. And just like most other SPO enforcements that store property ordinance enforcements, they did outreach ahead of time and then did the protocol with the tagging and the notification of if they wanted to retrieve some of the material, they could go to the Halaba base yard. One of the issues that I had discussed with HPD, in particular with these enforcements, and that you folks have brought up is the loose dogs. And so the difficulty that they have is the Humane Society will not capture or will not take the dogs into their possession if they're loose. So basically, HPD has to capture the dogs. And so they've actually done that a few times, but they are, they're not terribly well equipped for that. And so I'm actually going to be having a discussion with the Humane Society tomorrow, and I'll try and loop in HPD on that as well to see if there can be a middle ground that can be found so that they can work together on addressing some of these loose dogs, because I feel like there needs to be better protocol for addressing it, as particularly as if we are expanding this privilege to parks, we should be able to have specific protocol for addressing loose dogs and of course dangerous dogs.
We appreciate those efforts. Quickly, I know this is unrelated, but also related. In the sweep, was HPD able to capture all of those illegal fighting chickens and tents? Has that area in Kahalu'u Park been cleaned up as well?
The notes didn't say anything about feral chickens. It did just mention that the campsites were addressed and cleaned up, is what I have. But I can loop back with them to see if specifically it was the chickens, and sorry, what else was it that you were concerned about?
Yeah, the park in general, just making sure that it's clean and accessible for families to use the way the city had set forth originally before we introduce something new. Kalamai, is somebody online? Could you please mute your, what is this thing called? Microphone. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go to Uncle Dan real quick. Nate.
Nate, could you turn on your picture? We just see a blank screen with your name.
He's on the trail.
Okay, so here's what's going on. I think you need to know that there are folks living in the perimeter of park who are not policed by anyone. And so, thank you. So when the fire department came to put out a fire there, the firemen were attacked by the dogs that belong to these people. And some of the people who were just taking a quiet stroll were also severely bitten by dogs that really are just wandering from outside the park. So what happened was the woman who was injured refused treatment. She was taken by the fire department, and she refused treatment. And the only reason that anybody knows that this happened is because I happened to talk to her, and she told us, that she didn't want to make a big deal about it. So it's a continuing problem, and I'm not sure it rests on your shoulders, but I do know that it's been cleaned up on the area of the park. And I just want to emphasize, you had a wonderful employee named Leah, who I don't know her last name, but she really took care of that park. And she used to say, we're not going to have any problem like this. And she just, as the employee, took over and made sure that there was, no wild animals, no dogs running around. And I think that's the answer. But anyway, the people who walk dogs at the park all know each other. They know the dogs' names. They're all leashed. And maybe we need to make some rules about where they can and can't walk the dogs. But the fact is, it's a good situation there, and it doesn't require any kind of, dog park in that location. Okay, that's just my opinion. I've only been walking there for about 25 years, and I had a dog, and I walked my dog there illegally, and that's what people do. It just works out really fine. There's no need to bring in something, a major initiative from France to the United States to put in Kahalu'u and how to solve this problem. So I just want to give you that background, and thank you for sharing your presence here at our meeting. We appreciate it.
Mahalo, Nate. Kalamai, did you have something you wanted to respond with?
I was going to say absolutely. If you folks don't want to make any changes, by all means, we can take that recommendation into account. One thing that as I've gone to these neighborhood boards and heard a lot of the concerns, one idea that seems to be gaining a bit of traction is actually making the perimeter of the park an on-leash dog area. Because that seems to be the area that's most frequently utilized for walking dogs. And it also keeps the dogs out of the field areas because that's a very significant and valid concern about having dogs urinate and defecate in fielded areas where kids are using for soccer or football, any kind of practice. So that's another thing to consider if you folks wanted to just make an area of a particular park an on-leash area. That's certainly something that we already do and that is available to you.
So that's a perfect idea because we have a track. And if people walk their dogs outside the track and not on playing fields, it would just be fine. So the parking lot would be fine. And the area of grass that's outside of the track, that could be a dog walking area specifically. But that's sort of kind of what's going on right now, except for the dogs that just are not watched and a few people who just let their dogs run freely in the park.
Mahalo, Nate. So I'm gonna go to Uncle Ken real quick and have him give you a comment, but I'm not gonna hold you too much longer because it seems like we as a board need to get some details, Pa'a, and create a resolution that I will propose or we will propose to DPR probably next month. So Uncle Ken, go ahead, whatever you have for Nate.
Yeah, years ago, if I recall right, there was a contract put out to catch wild chickens. Okay, and apparently that was changed now, it doesn't exist or something. And as that model, though, if it was improved and rewritten with the help of Humane Society, you could put out contracts and then you have companies that would respond and are trained in retrieving wild animals like this. I mean, back when I was starting all this, I had cows, horses. I've saved 5 horses from being run over by cars, especially with ropes. So they spook the horse moves, the car runs over the rope, and there goes his neck. You know, you basically give an excruciating pain to a horse. Anyway, if you could get these contracts with companies who are follow regulations in how they capture and treat and how process these dogs that are not controlled, and chickens too when needed, and any other animals, it would be well worth the effort. My suggestion.
Mahalo, Uncle Ken. Community in person, do you have anything for DPR Representative Information Specialist Nate Sirota? Community online, anything for Information Specialist Sirota? Seeing none. So we'll get a resolution together next meeting, Nate, and I'll get that over to you.
Sounds good. And if there are additional questions, and when I find some of the answers to the ones that you folks had, I'll communicate them on that email thread with you, Jamie.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for getting that signage up there. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, and I call them for being a little tardy.
No, it's okay. You're missing out on the potluck, but you know, you're busy doing good work. So it is what it is.
I'm going to go eat right now.
Yes. You can come eat over here. We still have time. We have an hour and 15 minutes left. Come make a plate.
An hour and 50 minutes. I don't know if I can get from Hawaii Kai there in that long. But
Can. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you next month. Thanks so much, Nate. We're going to move on in our agenda. We have a little fire ant response presentation. Jarrett Lau. Thanks for being so patient, Jarrett.
Hi, aloha. My name is Jarrett Lau. I'm from the Hawaii Department of Agriculture Plant Quarantine Branch. I'm the acting entomologist and coordinator for the Little Fire Ant Response. I'm here today just to talk to the board and the community to learn how I can better connect to the community and better support your guys' community needs when it comes to Little Fire Ants. More specifically, my team has begun doing some work within Kahalu'u. We do have a LFA infestation that we're currently trying to delimit a little further down on Aha Olelo Road. When I first reached out, we were having a little trouble connecting the community to get participation. But since then, we've gotten to about 50% participation. But I would love to reach out to see if there's other ways I can better connect with that community over there. I do have a PowerPoint. I think it's getting pulled up right now, but I can speak a little bit more. For HCOA, our responsibilities when it comes to little fire ants is kind of a two-pronged thing. Firstly, we're the leads for both nurseries and businesses when it comes to doing little fire ant surveys and ensuring that they're following best treatment practices. On the residential side, that's more connected to the community. We did release a new program. It's the Hawaii Department of Agriculture's Pest Control Operator Program. Through this program, residents can provide test kits such as this. Even OISC has been providing their test kits results to us too. Once we receive it, all samples are processed through my team. We go through the microscope, we identify any ants that we get. If it's not LFA, we still respond back to you. We let you know what kind of ant it is and then what kind of treatments to help eradicate from your property. But if it is LFA, we'll be reaching out to the landowner, trying to learn more about where they've been testing, if they witnessed it like on other neighbors' properties or around their community. And then from there, we'll do an in-depth survey across the whole community to try to find the limits of the population. This is important because we need at least 90% participation for both the surveys and the treatments in order to begin our treatments. This is to ensure that the treatments being done are being done effectively, because if we don't have that mass majority participation, properties that are not being treated can reinfest the ones that we have treated. And since there's such a finite resources spread among all the partners, we want to ensure every action being done is being done with the most effective way. Yeah, and actually I can, we can go to the next slide. From the short break we had, I realized this community really knows little fire ant really well, so I don't think we need to go over the characteristics. But just in case you don't know, little fire ant is a very destructive invasive species. It's one of our top 3 invasives that the Department of Agriculture is currently controlling among coqui frog and coconut rhinoceros beetle. A little fire ant is a very small ant. It's about the size of the width of a penny. It causes these very painful stings, can cause blindness in pets, and it can just honestly just change our way of life by not allowing us to enjoy the island that we all grew up in. Next slide, please. These are like some of the concerns I just mentioned. Next slide. Testing your property is very important. It is in a way, like I had some people come to me saying that it's a way the state's cutting corners whenever they ask why we're having people test their own properties. That's not the case. Like us and our other partners, we're all spread thin when it comes to our capacity. And it's so helpful when the communities help us out by sending in these test kits. It helps us have a large net throughout the island so we can find populations hopefully before they get fully established. Because many times you might not know you have ants on your property because it can take up to a year before you start getting stung. And at that point, usually it has become very widespread and it's going to be more difficult and more expensive to eradicate. Next slide, please. As was mentioned before, HUA is the lead for both nurseries and businesses. So if there's if you know anyone who has a nursery who might feel like they have an LFA infestation or just wishes to have their property tested for their own knowledge, they can feel free to let us know. My team does do these surveys. They're all completely free to the business owner. And if any LFA is detected during those surveys, we'll provide, we'll help create a treatment plan that's best tailored for their property and their business. And then for residents, again, we highly encourage people to come reach out, try to submit test kits, and take this opportunity. It's 100% free and funded by the state. And it's all done through our certified pest control operator, Sandwich Isles Pest Control. Next slide, please. To qualify for this program, it has to be a residential property. So it can't be a business. It can't be, it can't be a business or a nursery. However, it can be a mixed lot residential TMK, and this also includes townhomes, apartments, and condos. The way that you qualify it is that your property has to be confirmed to have little fire ants. And the 2 ways that's done is either my team will come out to survey your property, or if one of our partner agencies have done a survey of your property recently, if they get permission from that community to share their data, then they can give it to us and they can be brought into our PCO program as well. Yeah, and then the treatments, they're all done. They follow the Hawaii Ant Lab standard, and they're all safe for both humans and pets. If we can move to the next slide, please. This is the population that we're currently working on. It's, like, as I said, it's on Aha'olelo Street Road. We found a good portion of the border, but as you can see, there's still about 50% of that map missing. Can we go to the next slide, please? As you can see, we're hoping to reach out to these surrounding community, both businesses and residential properties. The faster we're able to connect to these properties and give these surveys, the faster we can provide free treatment to the community. And that's really all that we're trying to look for. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer any. Yes.
How do we reach you? What's your phone?
Great question. I'll leave that all right here. But just so you know, we have a dedicated email. It's hdoa.pqlfa@hawaii.gov. And then I'll also leave my phone number on the board as well. Or yeah. Oh, also it's on the test kit. We have our office phone too.
Would you mind reading the number just for the public record?
Yes.
The office number is fine.
Yeah. A good number to reach me would be 808-832-0602. Again, that number is 808-832-0602.
Mahalo, Jared. Quick question. Is there a limitation on the funding that's available? And if so, what is it? What was the contractor paid or contracted to take care of? Do you happen to know that?
So originally for Oahu specifically, it was estimated that 580 properties was going to be allotted to Oahu. We're just about at the 100 property mark being treated. So we still have a lot of openings for it. With that being said, that estimation was created with the worst case scenario in mind. So in our program, each property is going to be allotted 12 treatments. Realistically, if the properties are done well and done effectively, it should be able to be completed within 8. Those 4 extra treatments are more just put into the plan just in case any hiccups happen. There's 4 more treatments to help push towards eradication. So as we complete some of the sites that we have started, and if we are able to get to eradication at the 8 mark, then we'll open up more slots for even more properties past the 580.
Okay, so just to get clarity on that, we have roughly 480 residential properties before the funding runs out as of current, before asking for an extension of funds to go to the contractor?
So we did extend, so we have a whole extra year. And it's not really a hard number. So it's the numbers between Maui, Kauai, and Oahu are all flexible to meet the demands of each. So if it's always going to be a first come, first serve. So that's why we're highly encouraging everyone to come submit samples just so we know what's the scope we're working with. But you know, even if we get to the limit, that is still valuable data in a way, because it's going to show ledge, it's going to show everyone that like this program's wanted and this program's needed, and then we can expand from there.
Mahalo. Board members in person, anything else for Jarrett? Board members online? Seeing none. Community in person, Joe?
Aloha, everyone. Again, my name is Joe. I work here at Key Project. I just wanted to say mahalo, Jarrett. My uncle has the PCO coming to his house in town, and they're doing the treatments. He gets a phone call the week beforehand, and they say like, oh, we're going to show up on like Wednesday or Thursday or something. My uncle doesn't care. They just walk around the yard and spray the stuff, and then they go. But I just wanted to say that seems like it's working well as of right now. So that's pretty exciting. I do want to also like underline the significance of all of us going around and talking to all of our buddies about little fire ants, because I've gone door to door when we were trying to delimit the Mauka Waihe'e infestation that they're doing drone treatments on, and it's very exciting. But there's a huge lack of understanding of the impact that little fire ants have on our communities, on our like capacity to reach food sovereignty, on the pets that everybody's talking about dogs in the dog park, but what if the dogs get blind from the little fire ants at the dog park? And when these guys are out going knocking doors on Aholelo, which Jared showed one of two infestations on Aholelo Road. There's 3 up in the back of Ahuimanu. There's 2 over here in Waihe'e. There's like a bunch of them over on our windward side. And it's really, really, really important that we're talking to our friends, neighbors, cousins, aunties, and people we bump into at the park about little fire ants. So when somebody shows up at their door, I literally just saw an email chain where someone said, we're not interested in treatment at this time. And it's like, home dog, you're going to wait till your dog is blind. What's with that? No, get it now, because later we're going to have to wait for the guy with the drone to fly from Hilo to treat the bush. And if we just treat it when you plant your plant in your yard, it's really much easier. So I just wanted to mahalo everybody who's out there doing that stuff. Important. Thank you. Jared, my uncle got a bill for $900. It wasn't a bill, it was a receipt, but it said $900 for the treatment. Was that one treatment or was that the full course of a year? You want to see it? I took a picture. I said, Uncle, what the heck is that? $900 from John Watts.
Joe, I'm going to let you tackle that with Jarrett.
Yeah, so
on the side here at the moment.
It's a long-term budgeting question about if it's cheap.
Yeah, we can,
to do that. Yeah,
let's
perfect.
circle back to that next month. Community online, anything for Jarrett for little fire ant response? Seeing none. Mahalo, Jarrett. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Moving on in our agenda, we're looking for residential feedback on the climate change response plans. Jonathan Lance, Climate Justice Specialist. Do we have you online with us for CCMAC? I don't see Jonathan, so we will defer that to next month. Moving on to residents and community concerns. Joe, this is your time.
Aloha, everybody. Okay. So Rachel, I don't know if this is possible, but I did email you a thing. If it's going to be a super fast presentation, if that's okay. For everyone, welcome to the new board members. Mahalo, everybody that I didn't get to know. Thank you to everybody who brought food. This is really exciting. I was really busy helping run Key Project Youth Programming up in Kahalu'u today, and I was gonna be late, but I showed up on time because I knew you guys were gonna have food, so I didn't need to show up late. So very exciting. I'm a staff member here at Key Project, and one of the things that I do in my role at Key Project is help to coordinate the Kahalu'u Resilience Hub Network. And I came here today with a little bit of background information on that, and then an ask for you folks. So there's, everybody likes to talk about resilience, and it turns out almost nobody can agree on what they're talking about. So I just wanted to let you guys know for the Kahalu'u Resilience Hub Network exactly what's going on. So core of it is that resilience is the ability to recover after a disruption. And for our Community Resilience Hub Network, it's very important that this is community led, because nobody can tell me that my community has recovered if we disagree. Like if we as the community members do not think our community is recovered, but all the fancy county people are like, hooray, we did it. We saved the people in the country. We're like, screw you guys. That's not what this is about. So this is at its core a very community-led effort. Next slide, please. The Kahalu'u Resilience Hub Network was launched in 2024 in partnership with Vibrant Hawaii. Vibrant Hawaii is also a very vague name, similar to resilience, but it is led by a bunch of hamas over on Hawaii Island. They get hit by a bunch of hurricanes. They get the volcano erupting and stuff. So they're much more organized than us because they have to be. However, the Castle Foundation started talking to people about resilience hub networks because they also care about resilience but don't know what it means. So they got a couple of us, including myself as a representative of Key Project, Dottie from up in Hau'ula, a couple of people from the CERT teams to go check out the Hawaii Island folks, and that culminated in 4 monthly meetings and then a December symposium last year that had over 70 people in it. And I think, Auntie Rocky, were you there in December? Anyway, there were a bunch of people who were there. Were you there, Chrissy? I'll show you the photo because I don't believe you guys. There was a lot of people there.
Uy,
Okay.
may valao. Let's go. Presentation.
Boom, next. Here it is. It's me and Olivia Wallace from Kahana, and we are the ones who are coordinating this. Boom, next. Hubs, everybody's confused. The important thing is that it's action-oriented groups of people. We're building Pilina, and this is led by the community for the community. Next. And then really what it comes down to, oh wait, no, go back to the empty one. This is a surprise. Okay, so really, tons of people talk about resilience and they like thinking about resilience, but this is what the Ko'olau Resilience Hub Network is doing. So first, boom, here we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. We have a Telegram communications network. This is just like something that uses the internet, and the reason is to enable us, like all of us, to practice using a Starlink network. If there's no texting capacity, how do we all make sure that we have the same apps? Are we going to be Instagram messaging each other, or will we have practice communication protocols? And we practice our communication protocols with Telegram. Next, please. We have some youth resilience academies because high schoolers are old enough to take care of each other, and so they can awamo kuleana. We have 3 that are currently scheduled, covering a variety of different hands-on skills and like a lot of other stuff. But Kahana is July 28th and 29th. Key project we're doing July 31st and August 1st, and then Waimanalo location TBD at the end of August. But we are looking for high school and college age youth to participate in these. Food is provided. It's a full day thing. It's the last week before school starts. If you do not want to, if you want to keep people busy, right then. Okay, next one. Thank you. We're doing a psychological first aid training. Mahalo to Auntie Deborah with the Kaneohe Kahalu'u CERT team. That's just like if some big disaster happens, everybody going to be struggling. So what can we do to take care of each other so that we have the energy to take care of each other? So that's going to be on August 9th here at Key Project. And mahalo to Vibrant Hawaii for paying for Auntie Deborah's Train the Trainer opportunity. Next one. We have a chainsaw certification that's coming up September 17th, 18th, and 19th. This is a full-on certification, so you can like use chainsaws with your jobs. I think that these are really exciting examples of like what an active-based resilience network is going to be about. It's not about knowing how to use chainsaws. It's not a PSA so that people know you're not supposed to cut the telephone poles, because if we cut all the telephone poles, we got to get them shipped on a barge from California. It's giving people first aid skills. It's giving certifications, giving people stop the bleed kits, training people so that after a hurricane, we have people safely opening the roads with maintained equipment. That's the goal, right? Like the certification is not the goal. The goal is people being safe, opening the roads, because we're not going to wait for people in Honolulu to let us drive to go check on our auntie. Thank you. Next one. We also have a quarterly Aina Day. We did one over at the Fukumitsu Lo'i in Hakipu'u. We did one at Ho'okua Aina. The next one's going to be back up in Ko'olau Loa. We switch off. We've got community first aid and CPR trainings that are coming up. And then to save everybody time, because everybody likes to have meetings and they're really annoying to be in, if there's somebody that you know who's like in this realm of community organizing and like community trainings, we kind of like to team up so that we can take turns going to meetings instead of needing to be at all of the meetings. Next one. And then a couple things that we have our like eyes set on for upcoming Resilience Hub Network activities. You can go ahead. We have our next Ko'olau Resilience Symposium in November. That is the photo that I think there's people here who are in it, but we'll handle that later. So I'm looking forward to trying to pull in more community groups, because the more of us that organize together, the better we can fund these trainings. Next. We're trying to start a freeze dryer hui on Hawaii Island. They funded 19 industrial sized freeze dryers and located them in communities so that after a hurricane, we can be eating freeze dried beef luau instead of MREs from Georgia. It would just be nice to pay our farmers and eat food that I would like to eat anyway. Perfect. Next. And then I think the most important thing about the Resilience Hub network is that the next thing can be whatever we want, right? This is organized by community groups. And so myself representing Ko'olau Poko, and then Olivia Wallace from Kahana representing Ko'olau Loa, we're committed to working to fund and organize any of the other trainings that people are interested in. Next. And so the reason why I'm here today is because I know you guys do plenty, but at its core, I think some people are already representing hubs, but they don't think about it like that. A hub is a group of people ready to awamo kuleana. It's ohana and organizations that are not waiting for disasters to start taking care of their neighbors. They're grounded, accountable, and present in their community, ready to collaborate and willing, like, get the trade-off between the one monthly meeting and the access to the chainsaw training, which comes with the chainsaw. The teams of two take home a chainsaw, and then ultimately, like, we understand that we can all suffer a little bit so that no one has to suffer a lot. That's why I go to the meetings, because the meetings sometimes are not that fun. But again, I'm here today looking for connections to other groups that you think kind of fit this shape, or ohana that are interested in stepping up to take care of the other people on their street. Next slide, please. So I really want to know who's already doing this work, what families and organizations know everybody on their block. And if you guys, I know that you guys have already taken on a lot of kuleana by being on this board, but if you have other folks that you would like to nominate or that you think might be interested in the chainsaw trainings, the CPR trainings, helping out and speaking at some of the resilience academies or something like that, you can email me. That's my Vibrant Hawaii email address. You can find me at Key Project pretty much any day of the week, unless I'm running youth programming. Then you can find me in the bush. And the QR code there signs up to be a hub. So that's kind of the update about what it is that we are doing as tangible actions, tangible next steps to build the capacity for our Ko'olau communities to take care of ourselves. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be doing this for a little bit.
Mahalo, Joe. Hi, aloha in the hallway. Come eat if you're hungry. Aloha, Taekwondo people. If you want to come eat, come eat. Okay. There's a lot of good information in there to a lot of trainings.
Perfect.
Can you consolidate to a list and post that up somewhere for the public?
Absolutely. I'll make a flyer, and if I'll share that with you guys.
And
Yeah.
can you share it through the Key portal or no? Is that more of a Vibrant Hawaii thing?
No, I can share. If I post it on, I'll email it to you and post to the Key Project Instagram, and we can add collaborators if people
Okay.
are interested.
Just for people who are not that civically engaged that are like, yes, these are excellent certifications. Bing, bang,
Perfect.
boom.
So some of those, just as an example, like the chainsaw, we cannot just give away the chainsaws. When you take the training, you're committing to a quarterly like practice and maintenance check, which is just like an Aina workday someplace where you whack down mangroves to make sure that the supplies are maintained, reiterate the commitment, like if there is a hurricane, please help. And then people are like, oh yeah, this is a reminder, the chainsaw in my garage I have because I'm committed to taking care of the community in a hurricane. So things like that, it kind of, the goal would be to get people into conversation so we can talk about this stuff, because we want to make sure that this, like the wrapping of it, like if we give you the freeze dryer, we want you making food for the community. So what can we do to help make sure that we can offset the electrical costs with some kind of business planning support, or like how can we bring you free food so that you can freeze dry it? And it's, I think, a longer term commitment than a training and equipment takeaway.
Maybe
Yeah.
put a little
Perfect.
excerpt of that also in that
Absolutely.
flyer.
Thank you so much.
Have you already presented this to Kahalu'u or Kahalu'u?
Not yet.
Maybe drop it to Jen or
Absolutely.
yeah, at
Yeah.
bare minimum, and then
Perfect.
probably to all reps offices, I would think as
Yeah.
well.
And then this is, you guys are my first stop because I live up the street and I work here at Key
Yeah.
Project. So this is I am also going to the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board and the Kaneohe Neighborhood Board in the next 2 weeks.
Love that. But for us specifically in Kahalu'u, can you drop it to Senator Awa and to Rep. Kitagawa and Councilmember Wire and Kiana? Yeah.
100%.
This is a great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Board
Aloha.
members in person, anything for Joe? Board members online? Community in person? Community online, seeing none. We're going to move on the agenda. Now that I have a quorum, I'm going to circle back to item 2, filling of the vacancies on the board. So we have full seats except for in Subdistrict 6 where we've been struggling to find anyone to represent Subdistrict 6. So this is the area up behind Times Supermarket, that complex area on that part of, what is that? Is that Huikelu? Is it Huiva? That portion of Huiva Street. So if you know anybody that lives in that area, or if you're interested, please come to our next board meeting. We meet every second Wednesday of the month here at Key Project at 6 p.m. if you're interested in becoming a board member. And board members and community, if you know anybody, throw their name in the hat. We're going to go down to election of officers. I'm going to move that we defer this item and that all of our newly elected and first-time board members consider if they want to take a seat on the executive to help our board. And then also those who don't, consider who you would like to nominate and vote for the positions that are there. Also, I'd like to note that second vice chair is not necessary. It has been helpful in past years, but we haven't had one this past term. So also consider whether or not you folks want a second vice chair. I will take questions from my new board members if you have questions about what these executive roles entail. Seeing none. Oh, okay. And then, so we're going to move back to residents and community concerns. And I have somebody online, community online. Chris Salas, go ahead.
Aloha, Chair. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm from Hawaii Bicycling League. I just wanted to send out a reminder announcement that the Honolulu Century Ride will be happening on September 28th, a Sunday. And we will be starting in town at Kahalu'u Park and heading up towards Swansea Beach. Key Project is typically our 75-mile turnaround and 8th station. And yeah, just a reminder that on Sunday, September 28th, we'll be out there bringing communities together and riding bikes and raising funds for our advocacy program.
Mahalo for that announcement.
Yeah,
Community,
I'll put some links in my email in the chat, and if anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them.
appreciate it. Community board members, anything online or in person for the Century Ride? Seeing none. Appreciate your time for that announcement.
Hey, what
Tell my
about
board-
me?
Uncle
What about
Ken, I
me?
have board business. You have something to say? Make it quick.
Yeah,
Let's
about
go.
the Century Ride.
Okay, go.
Yeah. Can we get a commitment that you're not going to be using Kamehameha Highway between the mall and hygienic store? Because that's a very dangerous stretch, and every year we try to get a commitment that you're not going to use it. You're going to use Kaikili Highway.
Yes, I'll make that note. Feel free to, I'll put my email in chat. Shoot me that email. I believe yeah.
We
I'll
meet
let you know.
next month, Chris. If you want to join us again real quick, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Ken. Okay, so we have to go back up to election of officers. I move that we defer that item. I need a second and we need a roll call vote. Just go ahead and defer it without a vote. Do you need me to vote, Rachel? Any objections? Abstain? Great. Okay, so the election of officers will be deferred to next month's meeting. Moving on in our agenda, any more residents and community concerns? Seeing none. All right, moving on to initial convening and board business. Meeting date, time, and location. The Kahalu'u Neighborhood Board number 29 presently meets on the second Wednesday of the month, 6 p.m. here at Key Project. That will maintain unless anybody has recommendations to change the time.
Seven people who are not here.
Right,
Were affected by this decision.
right. You want to go ahead and defer? we'll go ahead and defer that one as well for board business. Board recess schedule, where the board is allotted 3 recesses with the term year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. We'll go ahead and defer that as well. Adoption of oral testimony rules. The board is to determine the amount of allocated time for speakers along with the designated timekeeper. I do want to discuss this one in brief. We don't need to make any decisions on it. Yeah, I'm getting there, Uncle Dan. We're at C right now. So the adoption of oral testimony, currently for presentations, we allow 10 minutes. I personally think 7 is enough time to get the meat across because we still need to allow time for Q&A thereafter, but it'll be up to the board. Reports, we technically give 3 minutes each, but really the elected officials, especially during session or when heavy bills come through, they need at least 5. So I would like the elected officials to have 5 minutes each and then follow up with Q&A thereafter. I would like to limit the Q&A though, especially for board members. We can't be talking on and on because it doesn't leave time for community to chime in. So I'd like to get a response time of 1 minute at maximum each. Community concerns, 2 minutes. I also believe that's too short of a time for community to bring their grievances. Really, 3 minutes. I mean, it's not much more, but giving them the time and the space that they need. And question and response. Yep. So we'll leave that at 1 minute. And that doesn't mean like 1 minute, oh, council member XYZ in 1 minute, and then council member response. Oh, and here's another thing for another minute. So board members, I need you to tighten up, especially you, Kupuna, my Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken, you're doing so great. I appreciate it so much. But and also Uncle John, who's not here because he's under the weather. But I need you guys to keep it tight so that we can stay on task. Those are my recommendations. We can take action on it next meeting as well during board business. Does anybody else have any recommendations or comments to add to the rules of speaking? Board members in person, online, and community, I apologize. This is not something that you would chime in on. Okay, so we'll defer an actual decision on C. Moving on to G, the approval of the Wednesday, May 14th, 2025 regular minutes. Second. Okay, excellent. No amendments. Subdistrict reports. Subdistrict 1, anything to report? We don't have anybody from Subdistrict 1, just kidding. Subdistrict 2, that's me. I have nothing. Ron, do you have anything to report in Subdistrict 2? Uncle Rick's not with us today. Subdistrict 3, anything to report? Nope, nothing from Subdistrict 3. Subdistrict 4, Uncle Ken?
Well, I just got this little fire ant information on Kahalu'u Road, so I'm going to be working on that. New effort. Thank you. Very informative, Joe. Thank you.
Okay, Subdistrict 5. Nothing. And Subdistrict 6 is vacant. We're looking for board members to fill the vacancies. Announcements. Our next regular board meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at Key Project, also on WebEx. We will be potlucking again. Community, you turned out in large masses last month for when you had grievances. I expect to see you here to be civically engaged with us as well. I appreciate it so much. Ooh, Kalamai, I skipped something also that I needed to defer. Creation of board committees and chairs. We won't be taking action on this because the dates are incorrect. We'll take care of that next meeting as well. We also won't be we'll also defer the adoption of the resolution opposing Waihe'e Road commercial vehicle parking as Uncle John proposed it. So I'll be waiting for him to give us more clarification. And we'll also defer the adoption of resolution opposing the wastewater variance application number WW83.24 at 49-716 Kamehameha Highway. And I will wait for Member Masterson's resolution. Going back down to announcements and finally to adjournment. And we are adjourned at 8:19 on Wednesday, July 9th.